Alright folks, so we're ready for our concrete. The problem is no concrete until Friday at 10 o'clock. So we're just gonna wait it out, and got other things to do anyway. So I thought maybe we would get this wrecker up, get started on it. I've already pulled the PTO cover off and put a PTO on it, and I'm working on that right now. And this is a PTO I've been saving for a long time for a 643 Allison, and I had checked this thing a long time ago to make sure that it had a PTO gear in it, and of course it did. I don't know if all the 643s do or not, but this one happened to have it. So I've already got it on. I've just got to get all the bolts tightened up, and then once that's done, get the shifter assembly back bolted on. And this line is this is made to go on there to run it if you're, my understanding, driving with it on, and like a trash truck or something like that. That's what I was told by the company that sells these PTOs. And well, Muncie, or yeah, not Chelsea, but Muncie, actually, the one I talked to. So this is not needed on this one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hose off, and I'm going to stick a grease fit in there, and I'm just going to pump a little bit of grease in it, just to make sure that whatever it's supposed to lubricate is lubricated. And you know, it may wash the grease out or whatever. But now I started this up with the shifter cover off to make sure everything was fine, the gears was meshing, and it was slinging out some transmission fluid, so it's definitely, you know, gets oiled up in there. That's not an issue there. So we got an 1.25 inch shaft coming out. What we got to do is run an 1.25 inch shaft all the way back, which is a good ways. So we'll probably split it up double, and it's got to run back directly below this gear, and at an angle, you know, it can come over here, but it's got to line up for that, for the gear and the chain. And then it's got to come out of that, and I'm going to run it into a hydraulic pump. So we're going to have to buy some U-joints, and I'm actually getting ready to go out and look at, I've got the original piece that came off of this that actually ran this gearbox. These are Holmes gearboxes, and these are, a lot of these are the same, you know, the 600, I think all the way from the 480 up is the same, and I might be wrong, but there's not much difference in them. And this has got the 20-inch drums. This is the same as a 600. It's just this was a 525 unit, and from what I'm reading, the books say that the boom mounts, these booms mounted about halfway up, and that's the problem that they gave. And of course we're not doing that now because we're fully hydraulic. But I'm not worried about the winches, because I can run snatch blocks and get all the power I want to get out of the winches. And it'll hold 250 feet of 1/2 inch cable, so that's plenty of cable. And so once I'm up and I've got a, you know, snatch block on it, or a double or twin or triple line, you can pick up anything you want to pick up. So that's not going to be my issue. Winching is not. So we've got enough cylinder here, and I think they're 2.6s. Now I did say before 12 inches of cylinder, but no, it's not 12 inches of cylinder, not as volume, but you get what I'm saying. Don't take that stuff too seriously. And I know that 2 6-inch cylinders don't equal one 12-inch cylinder. But anyway, so I hooked to it and I lifted it up a little bit just to make sure everything was good. You know, didn't get any water in it. I had it capped off, but them plastic caps don't do the best in the world. So we're just going to be running 2 functions, up and down on the boom, in and out with the boom. So 2 functions with the hydraulics, and then we're going to go ahead and take this winch off. I don't need it on there, and we're going to run these, and then I'm going to build a weight box to put up here to put a few thousand pounds in. So our boom, you know, it's plated on top and bottom. The inner boom's plated. The cylinder's going to go on the bottom side. I'm fixing to go back and look at some of the PTO shafts and stuff I've got, so I'll probably go ahead and show you what the inner boom and the cylinder looks like. And you know, we're just going to make sure that everything on this thing is sufficient for picking up what we want to pick up. Now, our uprights. You know, this is exactly how the home 1701s and 1801s and stuff done it. It's also how Kirby Grant and I think how Kemp done it on their retrofits when they, you know, brought it back and down. So I could have went a little lower with that boom. It probably would have been okay. It don't matter. It don't hit. So I mean, it's not an issue. But I could have probably went a little bit lower. It don't matter either way. So, but what I'm getting at is I can take, if I need to, and go from them holes and actually come straight down and put a cable here, and that would even ensure me even more that this is not going to move, which I don't think it's going to anyway. I mean, I've overkilled it. Everything I've tried to do on this thing, I've tried to majorly just overkill everything. So, all right, so that's the plan. Okay folks, here's the drive for a Holmes wrecker. This is an original. This actually came off of that 525, and as you can see, it don't leave you a place to extend out. And there's a couple other things I don't like about it, and a couple of reasons I'm not going to use it. One is, of course, we need to run a hydraulic pump on the backside. We could run it off a chain or something like that, but I'm not worried about that. That's but with not having a shaft extended through, that's number one of why I don't want to use it. Number two is it looks like there's a little bit of wear on the T. Need to replace it anyway. And number three is that shaft inside there looks like about, it's not even an inch, it's smaller than an inch, 7/8 probably. And it's hard to see, but I want to go with a heavier shaft. I want to go with 1.25 inches on everything. And what I'll do is run 2 block bearings with a sprocket in between the two, running up, and I feel like it would do better with the situation that I'm going to be trying to put this truck in. So we're going to strengthen up a little bit instead of running this stuff. So we'll just save this for somebody else or for something later. Okay folks, so I've gotten the inner boom out of the back of the truck, and it's 8 by 8 by 1/2 inch, and that's a 1/2 inch plate on the bottom. So what I do instead of if I'm buying new steel is I call and see what they've got in the drop pile, and you know, so I just adjust to that. So that way the drop pile is cheaper than buying it new, because you know it's a drop and you just got to live with the length, and if it's too long you can cut it, if it's too short you're just screwed, I guess. But anyway, there's that. There's a cylinder. This cylinder, I have no idea what it's out of. I think it's a 5 or 6 inch bore, 6 inch bore I believe. I was going to put it inside the boom, that was the plan, and I know I welded this on. I remember making that and putting it on. I also remember doing the other end and putting it on, and I don't know what all, I don't know how the condition of this cylinder. I really don't know. I remember, you know, it's been so long ago, it's a shame because I can't remember where I got the cylinder from. And I'm hoping that it's not pitted up and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't think I would have kept it if it did, but anyway, that's the deal. There's the boom. We'll start getting it in there, and you know, hopefully it'll fit in there okay. So it should be 8 by 8.5. So we'll see. All right. Okay, folks. PTO's completed on this, finished, except for a cable, of course. I've got to buy a PTO cable. I've just got it wired in right now. So we're good to go with it. I ordered all the shaft. I was going to use this shaft, but I decided just to go ahead and order. I needed the ends and stuff anyway, so I just went ahead and ordered everything I needed to get this right. 1.25 inch shaft the whole way, with the block bearings. I got the sprocket coming. I actually bought a new pump. I usually don't do that. I usually I have a lot or acquire a lot of used stuff, but the pump was $185 brand new. It's for 23 gallons per minute. So I thought it was a good idea to go ahead and buy it because it was so cheap. Normally you can't buy pumps that cheap. So anyway, so now we're waiting on this. There's other things I could do to it, but there's other things I want to do yet. I want to go get the shaft ran on it and get the winches hooked up and get the hydraulic pump on, and then I can start doing hydraulics and work my way back on that. And let me see, this is Wednesday evening, and it's going to be dark here very shortly. But anyway, so Friday, 10 o'clock is the soonest that I could get concrete. So we're all ready. Everything's blocked and double checked and triple checked and all that good stuff. So we're ready to go with it. I've got one place on that far corner that I'm going to drive a couple stakes in. Besides that, it's ready to go. I've got all my boards over there with the pieces welded on the bottoms, ready to stick down in the concrete. So that's the plan at 10 o'clock on Friday. Be jumped on this and trying to get it knocked out. And let me see. Okay, so I put these posts up and a 20-foot I-beam. And this one I actually bolted in with the anchors. And this one I actually went 3 foot down because it was way longer, and put quickcrete around it. So I don't know why I've got 6 poles and none of them's the same length. Some of them are really long and some of them are really short. I took the longest one and the shortest one, and this is the shortest one that we've got up here. So we've got it up, got the I-beam up. Actually, I need to level that building over there before I build off this one. Sounds crazy, but it's a little low on this end, and I accounted for that. And so I'm going to take the crane or even the forklift and just pick up on it a little bit and block it, because we didn't level it right when we done it. So I did hang a stoplight up here just because we had an old, this is a mobile home frame, so we had an old axle mount there, only one. So I just hung the light on it. I don't know if I'm going to leave it or what I'm going to do, but anyway, here's the crane. So here's Nana checking things out. So anyway, she's been out here working with me here lately. So that's the deal. Tomorrow I got a hit and miss engine that I'm working on that I'm going to fire up tomorrow. Magneto will be ready, and I might do a little video on it. It's just an economy, horse and a half. And then I am going to, we're getting a CAT scan now. So that's Thursday, plus I've got Highway Patrol coming to inspect a car. I picked up a car that it was a fatality. So they're going to come do the measurements and stuff on it. So that'll take an hour, a couple hours probably. So time there's a death in a vehicle, they have to do measurements and, you know, tire depth and tire pressure and, you know, the car length and, you know, everything about the car, I guess, in case there's a lawsuit or, you know, something's in court. So I help them out best I can. The plan is to start that engine tomorrow, probably put a video on for it. Friday we'll be pouring this. I'm going to probably go ahead and film the whole thing. I think I can set my camera right up on the roof there and face it down over top, and maybe, because the truck's going to come in from the other end, and maybe get the whole thing. And so we'll probably just set it up and let it run as long as it's not raining or anything, and then I'll fast forward through it. And then Saturday I'm going to Turnersburg to pick up the rest of the Harrisburg engine, not the boilers, but we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the engine. And I do have the trailer unloaded. I might have already told that on here, but I've got the trailer unloaded, but I need that wrecker just for lifts around here, for them heavy ones like that, to be able to lift it and move it around. And I'll probably put, like I said, a weight box in front of that boom to put some weight in. And, you know, a wrecker, I don't know, most people don't realize this, but when you're hanging something on the back of a truck, like a wrecker, everything in front of the rear axle is actually losing weight. So, you know, an elderly fellow that I thought a lot of, he's passed away many years ago, told me that you could tow anything with a single axle that you could with a tandem. You just might not be able to stop as quick. So when you're putting weight even on a tandem, you know, if you've got, let's say, Rayco suspension where you got 4 springs or you got airbags, most all the weight is going on the rear axle, and everything in front of that, front of the pivot on the rear axle forward, is raising up. Now if you got Hendrickson suspension, which is like a Camelback, like a Mack, then the center right between the 2 axles is your pivot point, which is even worse because that gives you that much more overhang for it to pivot. So if you got Hendrickson, you need to put airbags on your rear axle if you got a wrecker. My opinion, anyway. So this truck will do fine. I'm thinking that this truck should pick up 25,000 pounds without any issues whatsoever, and they still be able to drive around with it. So that's the plan, because we're not even putting outriggers on it. So we'll see how it all works out. But the boom's strong enough, and the hydraulics is strong enough. So, you know, and the frame. So I think everything's going to hold up. We've covered our bases on it, and we'll of course run multiple lines. We won't be running just a single cable. So, you know, we'll run snatch blocks. Appreciate everybody watching. Till next time. Bye.